In the twilight heart of the vast American wilderness, a shadow stirs. Sleek, powerful, and utterly silent. She is the puma, a creature of myth and legend, known by 100 names: cougar, mountain lion, panther. Her story is one of survival, a timeless epic written across jagged peaks, dense forests, and sprawling deserts. Our story begins with a female. Let's call her Soul. Born in a hidden den, nestled high in the Rocky Mountains, she and her siblings were blind, helpless bundles of fur. Their mother, a seasoned huntress, was their entire world of warm presence, a source of milk, and a fierce protector. In these early weeks, Soul learned the scent of pine and stone, the sound of the wind whispering through the peaks, and the deep, rumbling purr of her mother's love. As her eyes opened to a world of dappled sunlight and deep shadows, her education began. Her first lessons were in play, wrestling with her brothers, stalking their mother's twitching tail. But these games were serious training. They taught her balance, stealth, and the art of the ambush. She learned to pounce, to bite, to hold on, skills that would one day mean the difference between life and death. Her mother led them on their first forays out of the den. The world was a dizzying tapestry of new smells and sounds. Soul learned to read the landscape, to identify the rustle of a squirrel in the undergrowth and the distant bugle of an elk. She watched, mesmerized, as her mother executed a perfect hunt. The stalk was a masterclass in patience, a slow, deliberate crawl, using every rock and bush for cover. The final rush was a blur of explosive power, culminating in a swift, merciful kill. It was a brutal but necessary lesson. For one life to continue, another must end. But the wilderness is an unforgiving teacher. One harsh winter, prey became scarce. The elk and deer herds moved to lower, less accessible valleys. Hunger became a constant, gnawing companion. Tragedy struck when one of Saul's brothers, weakened and desperate, wandered too close to a treacherous cliff edge and fell. The loss was a stark reminder of the razor-thin line they all walked. As Soul matured, a primal instinct began to stir within her. The time had come to leave her mother's side and claim a territory of her own. It was a terrifying, lonely journey. She was no longer a kitten under her mother's protection, but a solitary hunter in a world full of rivals. She traveled for weeks, crossing roaring rivers and vast, open plains, always moving under the cloak of darkness. She encountered other pumas, powerful males whose territories she cautiously skirted. Their scent markings were clear warnings, invisible fences she dared not cross. Finally, after a grueling journey, she found it, a stretch of wilderness unclaimed, a mosaic of dense forest and rocky canyons teeming with deer. This was her kingdom. She began to patrol its borders, leaving her own scent marks on trees and rocks, declaring her presence to the world. Her life settled into a rhythm dictated by the seasons and the hunt. Days were for resting, curled up in a sun-drenched alcove high on a cliff face. Nights were for prowling, a silent ghost moving through the moonlit landscape. She became a master of her domain. She knew every trail, every spring, every hiding place of the deer. Her hunts were poems of efficiency and grace. She was a patient observer, sometimes watching a herd for hours, waiting for the perfect moment, the one animal that strayed just a little too far from the group. Her power was breathtaking. A single, explosively, could cover 40 feet. Her strong jaws, equipped with deadly canines, were designed for a precise, killing bite to the neck. But her world was not entirely her own. A new scent began to permeate her territory, a scent that was alien and unsettling, the scent of humans. Their world was one of straight lines and strange, loud noises. Roads cut through her hunting grounds like scars. The distant lights of a town flickered on the horizon, a constant, invasive presence. One evening, drawn by the scent of livestock, Soul ventured closer to a ranch on the edge of her territory. It was a mistake. The encounter was a terrifying whirlwind of shouting, bright lights, and the loud bang of a firearm. She fled, a searing pain in her shoulder. The wound was not deep, but it was a harsh lesson. Humans were a danger to be avoided at all costs. Life went on. Soul healed, her cautious nature now reinforced by experience. She bore her own litters of kittens, passing on the ancient knowledge she had learned from her mother. She taught them to hunt, to hide, to fear the scent of man, ensuring the survival of her lineage. She was the ghost cat, the apex predator, a symbol of all that is wild and untamed. Years passed. Saul's muzzle grayed, her powerful muscles still strong but lacking the explosive energy of her youth. Her reign as queen of her territory was nearing its end. She knew that soon, a younger, stronger puma would challenge her, and she would have to yield. It is the way of the wild, the endless cycle of life, death, and renewal. One crisp autumn evening, as the sun set fire to the western sky, Soul lay on her favorite rocky ledge, looking out over her kingdom. The wind carried the scent of pine and damp earth. Below, a herd of deer grazed peacefully. She was no longer hungry. A deep sense of peace settled over her. Her life had been a testament to resilience, a solitary dance of survival against the backdrop of an ever-changing world. The story of the puma is not just the story of Soul, it is the story of a species that has roamed the Americas for millennia. A silent witness to the rise and fall of mountains and the coming of man, they are a vital part of the ecosystems they inhabit, a keystone species that maintains the health and balance of the wild. Their presence is a measure of the wilderness itself. As long as the puma walks the lonely ridges and silent forests, there is still hope for a world where wild things and wild places can thrive. Their epic story continues, written in claw marks on trees and whispered on the wind, a timeless legend of the American spirit. Thank you so much for watching. If you were captivated by the story of the puma, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more tales from the wild. We'll see you in the next one.